you have irregularly high checkout to transaction rates. So there should be a drop off here. This number, the checkout to transaction or checkout to purchase rate, should be less than 1. Usually the checkout to purchase rate, the view cart to purchase rate in e-commerce is like 33%. When I first learned that like 10 years ago, I was like, what the heck? How is that possible? How only 1/3 of people that view the cart go to checkout and or go to actually purchase? That's about the typical rate. Changes a little bit between desktop and mobile, and we could talk about that if you wanted. But the reason that you have an issue here is usually because you're not keeping track of one of two things. Either the item name or the item ID is not consistent between the checkout data that you record and the transaction data that you record. And so your report is broken into 2 rows. You have transactions in one row and checkouts in another row. And so when you take the transactions divided by the checkouts of a given name, this name should actually be this name. And so this number looks really high here. So that's the most common scenario. This can also happen if you can have transactions that happen without going through a checkout process. So sometimes you have like a one-click buy sort of scenario. Amazon has this and some other folks have things like this. And in those cases, you should be asking yourself, can I segment the traffic, the transaction traffic, based on the way it checked out? Because that one-click purchase does need to be, you need to be able to assess the conversion rate of that to purchase compared to checkout to purchase. And so you need to be able to segment the transactions by ones that came through one click versus ones that came through normal checkout. So if you want to talk about how to separate those things, we would love to talk about the strategy of that. In either case, if you have an irregularly high number here, it means that there's some user experience that you're not able to measure accurately. And whether that matters or not depends a lot on whether you can actually influence this experience. So if you're in Shopify and you can't control the checkout hardly at all, you can't do much to optimize for it, or it takes too much to build special function in the checkout extensibility that your dev team might never ever be able to do that, then tracking this accurately doesn't matter very much because you can't take action on what that data would tell you. If, however, it's an area where you think that rate is a key rate, we think we have issues there, we think that we have slowness there, we're trying different we're trying different payment processes, or we're trying to do upsell things that might be, or there's configuration things in our checkout flow that might make it difficult to do this, or that we think should be making improvements, then this is an important metric to resolve. So our feeling here is always, track what you need to track and what you can take action on, but don't spend the time getting data in place that you can't possibly or functionally, practically use, because then it just turns into work in motion that turns into no progress. If you need any help with that, we love thinking about this stuff. We implement it all the time. We've seen it done in just about every platform there ever was. If you have issues that you're trying to resolve, or you would just like to take the quick path to get there, don't hesitate to reach out. We love talking about it.